Welcome to VGK Today, a daily podcast providing you an inside look at the Vegas Golden Knights 2025 Stanley Cup playoff run. I'm Justin Russo with the Golden Knights on Tuesday, April 22nd. And if you're up to date, well, you already know that we released an episode earlier today where you can hear from Kelly McCrimmon, Bruce Cassidy, and Braden McNabb with some of their comments from Monday. But after morning skate today, Shane Hnidy had some time to catch up with Victor Olofsson. So let's hear what Victor had to say as he prepares for his second ever playoff game tonight.
This is VGK Today with Victor Olofsson. Victor, it took a while, but you got your first playoff game under your belt. Do you take anything away from that?
Yeah, it was a good experience. Obviously, it was some nerves coming into it. It's as a player, definitely where you want to be in those games that you want to play. And for me, it's taken a few years to get here, but it was a lot of fun. A little bit more intense than the regular season, and kind of what I was expecting in a way. But I also think you gotta be there and be in the moment and kind of experience it for yourself. It was nice to get that first one out of the way.
Well, from experience, I know there's nothing like it. A lot of times during the year, it's tough to get up for games. When it gets to playoffs, it's the easiest to get ready. But is there a way you got to control those emotions at the same time?
Yeah, I think you can't get too excited, and you can't get too down on yourself or even too up if it goes well. I think you got to be kind of controlling your emotions in a way, and because it's going to be a long series and it's definitely a long playoff. So not to get too excited and not to get too down on yourself if anything bad happens. So control the emotions that way, I think.
Been a real good fit with William Karlsson and Riley Smith on your line. They have a ton of experience. Have they helped you at all here heading into game two?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've had some great chemistry to finish the regular season, and definitely carries over into the playoffs. And it's nice to have guys that's been through it all and that I can kind of lean on if there's anything I need help with. So great to have those guys next to me.
Did you ever watch playoffs before this, or are you a guy that just tunes it out, the season was done and you were done?
No, I'll watch it. Usually I'll go back to Sweden right away, so it's tough to kind of watch the games live. But I definitely watch the highlights and follow it. And honestly, it's as a fan of hockey, it's one of the most exciting things to watch is NHL playoffs. So it's pretty cool to be part of it.
Did you watch them when you were young?
Oh, I did. I watched all the highlights, the regular season, playoffs, everything when I was young and growing up. So it's, like I said, cool to be a part of. Was
there any series rivalry, your favorite player, Forsberg, Peter Forsberg? I'm guessing here.
Yeah. We're from the same town. Peter Forsberg, Marcus Naslund, the Sedins, Victor Hedman. So I got a lot of people that I've been looking up to and definitely followed growing up. So definitely I always wanted to go in their footsteps and try to win the cup. And we definitely got a good chance here, I feel like.
Which team then? So you said a couple of Canucks in there with Naslund and the Sedins. Was that your team growing up?
Growing up, I did like Detroit. They had a lot of Swedes too, so I did watch a lot of Detroit too. But definitely followed Vancouver a little bit and Colorado for a bit. And so I kind of had a lot of teams I followed.
All right, game two, you guys were able to win game one. What do you guys maybe adjust or look to do a little bit better here in the second game?
I think they kind of came out definitely putting a lot of pressure on us in a way they haven't in the regular season. That their Ds were definitely stepping up more than we expected. So I think we got to be more prepared for that. And if we can exit our Ds on clean, we can probably catch them and have some odd man rushes. So
two teams that are pretty aware defensively. Is patience kind of a key in that, not trying to force offense?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think just be patient and you're going to get some chances eventually. That's usually how it goes, and it usually comes from good defense. So good defensively, be patient, and the offense will come.
Well, all the best. Good luck. Have fun tonight.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Fun chat there with Victor as he gives us a little bonus content here on a small bonus episode of the podcast today, talking some of this series and also some of his favorite players and teams of playoffs past. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll hear what Keegan Kolesar and Nick Waugh had to say earlier today. Golden Knights fans, you can experience the excitement of playoff hockey firsthand with a limited number of tickets still available at the Fortress. Visit VegasGoldenKnights.com to learn more. You can also check out the Vegas Nighthawks, who are back at Lee's Family Forum on May 3rd and May 10th. Catch the fast-paced, family-friendly action of indoor football with tickets available at nighthawksfootball.com. Well, the fourth line for Vegas had a great showing in Game 1, and they are looking to replicate that in Game 2 tonight. So let's hear from two of the members of that line in Keegan Kolesar and Nick Waugh.
I just want to ask, fourth line's always been that identity line of, you guys playing checks, being north-south coming up, but when you got 50 goals on that line, is that another element that we haven't seen from this group before?
I guess you could say that, right? Like the offense was there in the regular season. How he keeps it going in the playoffs in Game 1. So I think just when we stick to our identity, I think the chances will come for ourselves as a line. And I think the way the season's gone for a lot of us, we're getting those touches in early, so I think it's just the confidence to make sure those goes in.
Does it help? You don't really need to change much as far as your identity?
Just play how we have to, play our style. A lot of the first period there, we were kind of going against Kaprizov's line, and I thought we did a good job. We're not going to keep them hemmed into their zone every time. I think they're too good of players to allow that to happen. But from when we played against them, we just keep them to the outside, limit the chances they get, take away their time and space, and I think that could frustrate them in the long run.
Even on Brett's goal, the fact that you got it out so quickly and you guys were able to get out in transition, that's not a lot. That's never really been the makeup of the line, but the fact that you guys are able to make plays like that.
Yeah, just play into our system, right? Like the D-men had the puck. Let's give them 3 outlets. So you see it. We have 3 perfect lanes there in the neutral zone. Hanny makes a terrific pass to Wazzy, and it's a 3-on-2, and Wazzy made the right play to Howds. Howds just was Johnny on the spot.
Talk about the balance in the minutes. A lot of the time we're talking about how it impacts the guys who play the most, like Jack. But I'm curious how it impacts you as well and other players as it trickles down the lineup because you are more involved since the minutes are so balanced.
I don't think you've ever heard someone complain about playing more than they want to, right? We all want to play. We all want to be out there this time of year. It's exciting. I think there's also a team aspect to it. I think that's why our team is so good. It's just we have the depth that we don't have to rely on our top guys to get all the job done, right? Like I said, if my line, we can shut down their top line or keep them to the outside, limit their chances, and keep them off the score sheet whenever we can off the ice. I think that just sets up Jack's line and whoever may be next to have better success against the line that maybe we should be playing against. If you're looking at line matching line to line.
Howden's obviously had a career year. What do you think has been the key to his success this season?
Come to Winnipeg and you'll see. Train together. It's no secret the season he's had. I saw it firsthand, so you just got to come up to the north.
I know you don't shy away from physicality personally. Just wanted to ask, Minnesota was very physical last game, which I think was probably expected, but how do you handle and kind of absorb that as the series goes on?
Oh, we're fine with it. Like I've said many times, we can play any style of game. Again, we might not be putting up the number of hits that they are, but I think momentum swings are huge. Like Whitey had a huge hit on Zuccarello in the second period, and I think guys just fed off that. I think if you can just play hard on their top guys as much as you can, it'll frustrate them.
Your line has always had that identity in that north-south checking, but when you add 50 goals between the 3 of you, is that another element that probably takes teams off guard, basically?
Yeah, for sure. You look at a lot of 4 lines in the league. They try to go out there, obviously be physical, but try to not get scored on, basically. But when we go out there, obviously, no matter who we play against, we try to bring offensive. And for them, it's not only they worry about playing against the 4 line, they know we can score. So, it's fun to have that to our line.
You don't really need to change your identity. You just play the same way, and it just so happens you get opportunities like Brett's goal the other night where you just get out in transition to go 3-on-2 there, right?
Yeah, good speed from Brett there on the outside. But like you said, we're 3 guys. We kind of play the same way. Straight line. Don't try to be too fancy. We know what we're doing. We're good on the forecheck. We're trying to protect puck, be hard to play against, and if we can pitch in offensively like we did last game, it's a bonus for sure.
Simple question, but thoughts on the game tonight? What's your approach?
A little bit of the same. They're playing good defensively. We know what they're going to bring. They know what we're going to bring. So a little bit the same mentality. We're going to have first 20 minutes is going to be really important, so we're going to focus on that first.
Going back to Brent Howden for a moment. Yesterday, Bruce said that the 2023 Cup run really, he feels like that instilled some confidence in him. What did you see from him, and would you agree with that statement?
I mean, for sure, he was always been a clutch player. You saw that in those playoffs. He had obviously an overtime winner. Played with Stevie and Stoney. Those playoffs, he was really good with them. So obviously, it helps a guy's confidence. And like I said, from day one this year, he's been looking unbelievable, and he's a big part of our group. So yeah, it's like I said, big part of our group, and we're lucky to have him.
Well, a nice trip around the VGK locker room, hearing from Victor Olofsson, Keegan Kolesar, and Nick Waugh ahead of Game 2. Nice little bonus episode for us here to set the table for Game 2 as the Knights look to take a 2-0 series lead. That'll just about wrap things up for our shorter episode today. Thanks as always for tuning in to VGK Today, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe on your preferred podcast platform, as we'll be back every day throughout the Knights' 2025 Stanley Cup playoff run with new episodes. As mentioned, we already had an episode drop earlier today where you can hear from Kelly McCrimmon, Bruce Cassidy, and Braden McNabb. So go check that one out if you haven't already, and tune in tomorrow as Dan Duva and I are back to recap Game 2 between the Knights and the Wild. Justin Russo signing off for VGK Today.